As actors, how does it feel to get an ovation, an applause, a recognition that way? And especially if you guys can compare it to what's going to happen tomorrow, that you're going to be in front of a panel, a lot of fans, and everyone's going to cheer for you. How does that feel as an actor? I can't even imagine.
Let me tweak your question a bit.
Yes, sir.
As a director, how does that feel? Because like you're so much more
Yes.
responsible for the telling of the story and how it came out than, you know, an actor is one of many participants, even if it was a two-hander kind of thing. Like, what does that feel like as a director to get that type of response?
This franchise really has like such iconic scenes, like the door, the first T-Rex attack. I believe you guys have in both your filmographies really iconic scenes. The swimming lesson in moonlight, the 360 shot in Avengers. So I wanted to ask you, when you are filming those scenes, are you aware of how iconic this is going to become? And does that change at all the way you approach the scene?
You really don't know. I mean, certainly you might have a director say to you something like, you know, this is going to be, this is going to look really cool, or whatever this will be, you know, and they'll come up to you, this is a trailer moment, or these like corny things that people say. But you have to just keep your eye on the prize. You're like in the moment, because otherwise it doesn't amount to an iconic moment if it doesn't work dramatically.
I just got goosebumps, and but that's the fan in me, you know, because the 5-year-old boy who's watching Jurassic is never, well, that's why we all love it so much. We sort of carry our little Rupert and little Johnny around with us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's something about this is that the production values are so extraordinary that it's hard not to suddenly go, I'm being chased by a dinosaur.
You know, you just want to be immersed in what you're doing and just do the best work you can do on the day and make sure that you're just doing your job. The way things have to come together for something to have a larger meaning or purpose or to resonate with people in a larger way. I feel like if there's any chance of that happening, and not saying that I ever go into something with that in mind, but if there's any chance of that happening, it's probably gonna be because you really committed to doing your job on the day. Everybody was really committed to just being in that moment.
We don't necessarily know, and nor could we, which bits are going to become those iconic moments. And that's why it's thrilling, because the writing is so good, the acting was so good across the board, and God knows what Gareth Edwards got up to with the special effects, but the bit that becomes a meme or goes viral or is on a t-shirt, you know, that's what's so exciting, to be like, oh, that's what caught everyone's imagination. How exciting.
Yeah.
Acabamos de ver una escena de Jurassic y nos llevó, como tú me acabas de mencionar fuera de cámara, a ser niños. Estábamos gritando, estábamos muy emocionados. Y quiero platicar contigo sobre tu experiencia con esa primera película. Me acabas de decir que te llevó a ser niño. ¿Qué te acuerdas de haber visto esa primera película hace muchos años?
No, pues fue, o sea, de verdad, yo creo que le achaco todos mis panic attacks a Spielberg por esa película. Yo estaba chavito y ver eso, ¿no? Fue como, pero también, o sea, gracias a Spielberg, yo creo que a esa película, Hook, por ejemplo, me abrió las puertas al mundo del cine y fueron las cosas que yo quiero trabajar ahí. Y Jurassic Park fue una de esas, no, de verdad marcó una pauta en mi generación, en mí, en toda la generación. Me acuerdo tener la mochila, la loncherita, no sé si te acuerdas, eran de metal, las loncheras, de Jurassic, todo era de dinosaurios. No, pues sí, marcó una generación.
I was in Cannes for the Eleanor the Great premiere, and for that standing ovation. And please correct me if I'm wrong, did you shoot Eleanor the Great before shooting Jurassic?
I did, yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, does the way you directed Eleanor somehow change the way you approach acting now in Jurassic?
I don't know. I mean, I think in some ways, I mean, I have a much greater appreciation and understanding of the prep period and the post period of production, which I was not as like privy to. And then I think, you know, in some ways you're just more aware of like inefficiencies, you know, and that can be both a good thing and a bad thing. You know, it can maybe sometimes make things more frustrating, or it can help sometimes things move along like more quickly. But I think anybody here, like there's so many actors that have had, everybody here's had long careers and worked a lot. So I think we're all basically having like the same conversation on set. As to how to help and support our director Gareth, and you know, like make stuff move more smoothly. Yeah.
I want to say to you that I was in Cannes for the Wes Anderson film,
Oh.
and I was in the theater when they all applauded and they
Oh.
were the standing ovation. So I wanted to ask you, as an actor, how does it feel to get an ovation and for from the audience? And if you guys can compare it to maybe tomorrow, where you're going to meet a lot of fans from Jurassic Park are going to applaud you and cheer you the same way that they did, back there in France. So I was wondering, is that different for you guys to have that kind of, reception?
Well, I think when you step into the Jurassic franchise, I think the only way to really get through it is to pretend that it's a tiny student film. And that it's absolute keeping the bubble, which we did do, and it was really brilliant because obviously shared times with extraordinary people. And so stepping out and then, where you realise the impact, the global impact that it has, and there's a massive fan base, and you just hope that, you've done everyone proud who's loved the film as much as we did growing up.
I remember being at Cannes, not this time, another time, but after COVID. So no one had been to the theatre for 2 years. And we went there with Asteroid City, and it was one of the first kind of things. And it felt like, yes, they were applauding the film, but they were applauding the idea of film, of going to the movies. Yeah. It's such a part of our culture. It's a 20th century invention, but it's like what everyone really, really loves. There's nobody who says, oh, I hate going to the movies. It's like, doesn't exist. So it's a joy, as Johnny said, to be part of this.
¿Y no tienes como un momento como dicen los americanos, de full circle? Porque trabajaste con Chris Pratt, que estuvo en Jurassic. Sí. Y ahora estás en Jurassic. Y de alguna forma, mi pregunta es, ¿aprendiste algo de trabajar en Hollywood en tu primera película, que fue, corrígeme, estoy mal, Magnificent, que de alguna manera llegó de Lincoln hasta ahorita en Jurassic? ¿Aprendiste algo en tu primer día en ese set, que hasta ahora sigues aplicando cualquier set que vas?
Sí, yo creo que en todos los proyectos, voy aprendiendo cosas y tengo la oportunidad de trabajar con actores que pues, admiro mucho y son, y de alguna otra forma les aprendo algo, ¿no? Esa película de Seven, de los 7 magníficos con Denzel, pues, ¿no? Las escenas que tengo con él y estar absorbiendo todo lo que es el profesionalismo que tiene, la ética, la entrega que tiene a lo que está haciendo, ¿no? Cómo hace el approach a las escenas. Pues sí, voy absorbiendo de todos. Yo creo que cada proyecto me ha dejado algo.